Hello, and welcome to RJI Insight, where we put a spotlight on some of the programs, projects, and research here at the Reynolds Journalism Institute that help journalism get better, faster, and smarter. Today I'm joined by Emily Lytle, who is RJI's Innovation in Focus editor. Welcome, Emily.
Thanks, Randy.
Why don't you tell us what you do as Innovation in Focus editor?
Yeah, I usually tell people that I produce the Innovation in Focus series here at RJI, and that means that I partner with newsrooms all over the country to test something new. New tools, new ideas, strategies. As long as it's going to make you and your work better or help you serve your community better, we test it out and we share out the lessons that we learn with our audience.
Well, and that's great. It's a great feature, and I love it. I'm a bias, but anyway, so we're going to talk about a really interesting project that you're leading. What we call it is the Mini Revenue Project, and why don't you tell us about it?
Yeah, so typically with Innovation in Focus, we partner with one newsroom, maybe two newsrooms to test out a new idea. This time, we opened up the Mini Revenue experiments to a bunch of different newsrooms. And we split the newsrooms up into 4 different cohorts. So in each cohort, there was probably 5 to 10 newsrooms. So we had more than 20 newsrooms involved. And each cohort had a specific task or a specific strategy that they wanted to test. Everything was related to fundraising and revenue. And like you mentioned, the real benefit of this for the newsrooms and what they told me was that they loved being in community with other people trying to solve these big challenges and these big questions about revenue and fundraising and figure out how do we break that down into something small that we can test over a short period of time.
Yeah, so they could compare notes.
Yeah.
They could, benefit from what other people are doing. So can you give us like an example of one particular experiment?
Lookout, which is an LGBTQ investigative nonprofit based in Arizona. They were already doing a lot of fundraising just generally for their organization. And they were in the cohort related to different perks, testing out some different perks for donating. And Jake Hilton at Lookout tested out this idea of giving donors a t-shirt. And he really pivoted and was in the spirit of innovation and doing something short term because he reacted to something that was unexpected that happened at his organization. They had some hate mail, essentially. Someone emailing them saying negative, hateful things about the trans community. And he responded with a t-shirt responding to this person whose name was Patty. And they created t-shirts that said, "Don't be a Patty," or it was scratched out to say, "Don't be petty." And so he was really clever and really jumped on that opportunity and made a lot of great he had a lot of great donations from that campaign. Can't remember the exact numbers, but that was a really good example of seeing, all right, what kinds of perks that really align with your organization and the tone and the culture of your organization and with your audience that can motivate them to donate and make them feel like they're part of your organization and what you do.
Yeah, I think that's super creative.
Yeah.
And the idea about merchandise as a way to raise money, but not just merchandise, but news-related merchandise. I mean, he really put everything together in terms of thinking like that. So that's a great example of what we wanted to encourage, is not just do it the way everybody else does it. Do it the way that works for you. Overall, with all the cohorts, kind of what are some of the takeaways or some of the things that you could share with us?
Right. I was talking to Catherine Dugal at Trade-Offs, which is a digital online publication, but they're predominantly a podcast. And so she was talking about how they had to test out, would people be open to physical mail, direct mail? Like, they're not used to hearing from us in that way. They're just used to hearing us through their headphones. Would that throw them off? But they did a campaign where they sent stickers out and little thank you notes to their donors. And they heard a lot of positive feedback from people from that. So sometimes you just have to try things, and sometimes it'll work and sometimes it won't. And either way, you learn something from it, which is what I love about the short-term aspect of these experiments or these projects, is no matter what, you do learn something. We've had a few people who were like, you know, Emily, it didn't move the needle for us at all. Like, we didn't learn we didn't see a dramatic increase in donations. We didn't see any major takeaways from that, but hey, we were inspired maybe by what another group was doing, or from that we decided maybe we're going to focus our energy somewhere else. So there's always something that you learn from it, even if it's not the wild success that you hoped it to be.
How did you come up with this idea, or where did this idea come from?
Yeah, so I've been wanting to do more of a cohort model with innovation and focus. We've tested this out before. Last year we did a project kind of along the lines of revenue as well, where we partnered with 4 different newsrooms to design t-shirts and merchandise for their newsrooms for the first time. We walked through the whole process, from finding a local artist to designing the t-shirt to picking out a platform to sell it on. So I really liked that model and how much the different newsrooms learned from each other. So I've been thinking about that for a while. It's definitely something that was an experiment within itself. So we hadn't tested this format before. And having more than 20 newsrooms test something new all at the same time, that is a lot. There's a lot going on. It was very quick. So it was a month-long experiment, which meant they had to design their experiment, implement it, and measure it
in a month,
which we realized wasn't realistic for a lot of people. And depending on what they were specifically testing, it probably made sense to extend that a little bit. So we'll probably think a little bit more about maybe building in some more time to really plan and design what you want to test first. But they did a great job considering how quick this was. And they had me in their inbox every week being like, all right, what you doing this week?
The
clock is ticking. But the cohort model provides some accountability too, because they were all doing it together. So that helped as well.
That makes a big difference. So.
Yeah.
Well, it's great. It's a great project. And thank you for being here today.
Yeah, of course.
You can read more about the Mini Revenue Project on our website, rjionline.org. From the RJI studio, I'm Randy Picht. Thanks for watching.